what does that mean? They say, Travis, I'm not sure what I want you to do, but I'll know it when I see it.
Oh.
I said, no problem. As soon as you see it, make sure you turn your head sideways like Casey does when I get home from a long trip. That makes me know you love me, and I'll know that I'm worth the money. Well, by God, when I flipped sides of that table, I looked over at Paul Lynn and James Reed.
Oh, my God.
And they gave me the thumbs up. The fact is, Travis, thank you, sir, for everything. You have done it. Well, in my delight of showboating, Bart says go. And he got a hold of my thumb, and he says my elbow fouls, and they say he's the winner. And I'm like, nah. So I grabbed the strap. I say, put the strap on. And we put the strap on, and they say go. And I asked him who his daddy is, and I eased him down. And he kept the trophy. So when you see the video, please tell me that you're proud, if you're Shawn Lattimer, of your win on the Beast. Okay? That's all I want to say. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
I have a story.
And no one else can let Shawn Lattimer have his grip and go whenever he wants to in this world. Make sure you count that too. Like, don't get it twisted. Shawn Lattimer is not a normal human being left-handed.
So I remember I have video for Arm TV Nation out there. We have I do believe I have Shawn Lattimer's first tournament. I remember very distinctly being introduced to this big man. So back to what our goal is. A lot of you guys are going to see some of these guys' early events, and you'll meet him. So I can't wait to share all that stuff, but it's very exciting to me to hear that he's still in there.
Yeah, awesome. Listen, and if you want to beat Travis Bagent, the time to do it is at the county fair. After he's already got paid for putting on the show.
Yeah.
And after he has already proven to everybody in the place that he is such a bad man. I mean, if you would have saw the swag. Oh, scary.
So okay, we've spoken to you about, what it's like after, so Pulling John gives you this fame. Game of Arms gives you this fame. You win the wall. Is it
new?
cool?
There's a new mission. I know. There's always
so
a new mission.
Now you're like, you've already spoken about it. You're like, you said in one of the last shows, you're like, you kind of feel like you're in the media now. You stepping into this platform. Now you're coming in. It's like people are talking about you maybe for a different reason other than your arm wrestling. Describe the differences.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. I think that there's a new goal, right? The new goal is change every person's mind about how they felt when they really didn't know me. They just watched me, all right? So I ran into Steve Walker this weekend. Now, Steve Walker, for those that don't know him, guy from in Connecticut, New Jersey area. When I first arm wrestled him in Connecticut, but I think he's a New Jersey guy. Jim Bryant's buddy, the animal, Steve Walker. Now, when I'm 25 years old, this is a bad dude, okay? And I'm 220, 240. This guy's a 300-pound beast, right? He is also a coordinated person, right? So he's arm wrestling with timing and explosiveness, and we did not hit it off. I did not hit it off with Jim Bryan at times. The first time I beat Jim Bryan, I didn't know how personal that was to Jim Bryan. But Jim Bryan knew what I was wearing, what kind of cologne I had on, and he took that home with him, and he harnessed it. And then I ran into Jim Bryant one day, and I just walked by and said hi. But what I didn't know, he was there for me.
He was still harboring the.
Oh, he was. And then when he beat me, he said, Travis, that's my life mission. And I'm like, damn, bro, I didn't even know who you was, man. I think I arm wrestled you once, like 3 months ago. He's like, yeah, you did. It was my first event. And I'm like, okay, well, now you're on my radar. So I start whipping his ass again. But the fact of the matter is that did happen with Jim Bryan. And it also happened with some other New Jersey guys. Steve Walker was one of those guys that was a little bit better than me at 25. Then at 28, things changed. You know what I mean? And daddy's, you know, now I'm a grown-ass man.
Well, are you coming to the point that you ran into these guys?
So the fact is, I ain't seen Steve in 15 years. He got out of the sport. I became worldly recognized as the greatest arm wrestler in the history of the world, of course. Everyone knows the story. So for the last 10 years, you know, people are asking Steve, yo, you ever arm wrestled that guy? You know that guy? So Steve's like, hell yeah, I arm wrestled that guy. I'm 2-2 against him. I used to whip his ass because I was, you know, 11 years old when he was doing it. But the fact is, Steve's a bad dude. Well, this weekend, I saw Steve and his daughter's there, and his daughter's a sophomore in college, and right away, it was a different vibe, right? Steve's in the Masters now. He pulled in the Open too. He's just getting back into it. But there's no more pressure. It's no more hating Travis Bagent, and there's no more me hating Steve Walker. It's, what's up, dude? You remember how crazy the tournament was at the Staircase Live. And then it was me engaging with his daughter, making sure that he knew how much respect I had for what we went through and how fun it was, you know, to have those type of rivalries and great stuff. So what I hope that I accomplished is Steve's like, you know what? Travis is a terrible person to compete against, but in all actuality, he's a bad dude and he's the coolest guy here. And he just came over and made sure that he recognized that that I was a cool guy too. So
and
for me,
it was from how you acted at the tournament, not that he watched the show. Because I wanted to get 100%. I've seen some of the comments. Some of the comments were exactly that. I didn't like Travis before. Now I've watched him, and it's like it's growing on me.
Yeah,
and
I've been going through that my entire life. But it's so funny how you approach those things. So at first, right, I'm 28 years old. I'm the baddest dude in the world in my own mind, right? The bad dude. And I hear somebody say, you know, Travis is a jerk on the message board. Travis ain't cool. Well, now I know I don't know that person, but I know their screen name. I know that they arm wrestle in Texas, but I don't really know what your name is. But then, lo and behold, 3 years later, I'm doing a seminar in Dallas, Texas, and there is Mr. Screen Name, Mr. Assholeville, right?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, dude? How you doing? Right? So I remember at 30 years old giving that guy what he wanted. So he wanted me to be an egotistical bully asshole. So because I knew that he had no right to really believe that when he has no real information, sometimes I would let him see that side. You know, that I'd give him the side.
You're not answering
just
my
because
question.
I was upset. So hold on. So nowadays, when people are those people who either had a problem or some reason have a problem, when they really don't know me, I do a better job at trying to win them over rather than holding any type of animosity. So go ahead.
I'm asking you, when you walked into the room in the past, it's like everyone knows Travis Bagent for the Travis Bagent. And now when you walk into a tournament, it seems like the show's gotten a little popularity. Is there a different feeling like you're now being known maybe for a media personality? Do you like it? Are you getting any
I will
feedback?
tell you this. I have got zero feedback on your show as a media guy. I am still the beast. What are you talking about? I'm the greatest arm wrestler in the world. That's why they love me.
But yeah.
No, we're not there yet. We are not.
You're not getting any.
Guy. No. Yes, I get a little. Some people tell me how they love the stories. And they tell me why does Gary keep interrupting you? What's up with that guy?
I'm going to get to, I'm transitioning and it could, here's the thing. I put on the thumbnail, Steroids, the topic that will make or break us. Because I thought one, Michael Todd was on Uncle John's. He handled it really well. He deflected the whole beard thing. And it was kind of like, oh, I feel like I dodged a bullet because I thought we were doing something dramatic. And, you know, it turns out if you're a major athlete, you can just deflect. And then no one really wants to. And then I directly asked you, it's like, well, what about you? And you gave your answer, which people in the comments, they're like, oh, he's clearly trolling you.
What happened?
I'm going to have to call you back. Yo.
What happened to you? What happened to you?
Oh, that was scary.
Oh, shit. You had a concerned look on your face.
Oh, there's nothing. The program just disappeared, and there's nothing scarier to a guy like me to know that all that content you just had did it disappear as well. Luckily, when the program rebooted up, the file was still there, so we are good. Okay, back to what I was saying. That show, so far, the biggest hits. People loved the sincerity. They loved the funniness. They loved the rawness to it. However, people felt a little let down because they feel like Travis Bagent was somewhat disingenuous in his response. And you said episode 1. The problem with this show is that I could.
Gary Roberts. Gary, listen, I got a fucking 3 very important questions for you, okay?
Yeah.
Have you ever lied to the United States government about taxes? Have you ever committed adultery in your entire life?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever had a homosexual experience?
No, sir.
I'm going to keep asking the weirdest questions in the world, and eventually you're going to say, my man, I'm not answering that question, okay? So I'm going to keep going, I guess. Have you ever had a ill thought about an underage girl?
When I was 18 and she was 17.
No. You at 35 and the 15-year-old girl walks around the beach.
No.
Have you ever been mean to an animal?
Okay, I got your point.
So listen, I just want you to know that don't ask me no questions about money, about sex, about drugs, or I am subject to lie my ass off for the rest of my life. Do you understand?
I understand.
I will tell you this. Under no circumstances am I the man in any bad thing. Okay? At all. If you add it all up, I'm pretty good chance of getting into heaven. Okay? So, don't ask me no questions and expect the truth if it involves sex, drugs, taxes, money. Okay? Because I like to embellish and I have been known to lie. But I will not lie to you about whether I think someone else is or isn't. However, I do know this. Nobody really knows what anybody does.
Okay, I get that. But the point is.
And I have never tested positive. Never.
I respect that answer. But I would say this. In terms of so Travis Bagent, you and I, according to some people, we have an opportunity here to maybe do something special. And we can only go up, given the signs. I didn't fix your unfiltered.
100%.
If I look at I'm to be hard on you. You're never going to beat John Brzezinski.
Let's do it.
John Brzezinski has his place. And then now it seems like Devin Larratt, a video just came out. Devin Larratt, most important arm wrestler in the history of arm wrestling. It's
right, but can't you make a video right now and say, Travis Bagent, the most interesting man in the world? Can't you make a video like that and put the headline up there? So just because you saw someone put that Devin Laird is the most important person. Not that he isn't. He very well may be. But don't get it twisted. There's not just one media outlet, and if that's the God, like Jesus Christ did not make that video. It was just a guy. Okay? A Swedish guy, cool dude.
I respect that. So there's this other guy. I don't want to drop names, but there's this other guy, Brandon guy. You talked to him. I just got off the thing for an hour. He was giving me his vision on where Arm TV could go brand wise. And he said something that even I've been so focused on what went wrong in the past with Arm TV that I didn't see.
Are you telling me that I told you this guy was cool and now he got me fired? Is this what happened? Have we hired a new HR department?
No, what I'm saying is he said something that because I was concerned with going, like, for instance, this is an amazing segue. So the Total Arm Wrestling League, the event that took place at the same time that yours did, they had a big match. And so it was live streamed. And I was like, seeing like it's live streamed, it makes me less excited to go film that tournament because would people watch my video after they've already watched the live stream? And he's like, my man, the audience that is watching a live stream from beginning to end, I'm embellishing, but he's like, they're the crazies, the arm wrestlers. He's like, you have the opportunity to speak for the wider audience with better videos, more and I was like, like back in the old days, I was thinking small, the arm wrestlers who are going to pay $20. And it's like, I forgot there's a whole wide world out there of billions of people that have yet to find that sport. And I segue back to you because it's like, you have an opportunity. You said, I'm more the media guy. I'm still an arm wrestler, but I want to run the show. I want to be the media guy. Like 20 years from now, will Travis Bagent be known as, you watch the NFL, who's your favorite broadcaster?
I like Troy Aikman, and I like Tony Romo because I love the Dallas Cowboys because they are America's team. I'm not a communist. I love America's team.
My point is, some of those guys, like, there's some kids out there that don't know Troy Aikman or Tony Romo more Tony Romo, but they know him as like the media personality. You might be slowly pushing your future into, like, what if we continue growing this brand guy? He tells me, Arm TV can explode. Everyone's like blown up. And it's like, you could put your foot stamp that episode where we just talk about everything's raw. And it's like the real truth. And it's like if you know about that world and you educate me and educate us, I'm like the new arm wrestler that comes in and they just find this channel. And they're like, I want to be world champion. Do they really have to partake in that world?
They can't. They can't. They're not allowed to partake in that world if they want to be the world champ.
Even like WAF world
champ. No, if they want to be the WAF world champ, they cannot take steroids. However, if they want to arm wrestle another guy that looks like he is on steroids and that person is betting them $20,000 and it could be interesting to win the prize, you might want to think about evening the playing field. You do not have to, but you must know that if you believe that the other person is, then you have to answer that question for yourself. Now, why would you think that he was? There's a lot of reasons, right? First of all, if he looks like a weirdo, right? You're like, huh? If he has pictures of him looking completely different, right? Like there was a guy that used to pull the 165s and now he's 220. And you can tell that my man has enhanced his body and it's okay, right? If you decide to take on the task of going against him under those rules, you are going to have to either do it or go into the fight with not quite on the even playing field. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It's no problem. A lot of guys that are juiced up lose to guys that aren't juiced up. It's just the way it is. But I think that to think that it's as widely accessible as marijuana, and they are not testing for it, and you're pretty sure the guy you got to go against is juiced up. If all those things happen and you decide to do it, I'm not here to put you in prison. You know what I mean? I get it.
Okay.
Yet, if you go to a tournament and you're not supposed to be doing it, you shouldn't do it.
I took steroids.
You just made this the funniest show. Gary, is that supposed to make me admit it? Because I don't think anyone gives a fuck if you took steroids.
No, I'm just gonna say.
Did it work? Did it work? How'd you do?
I'm just.
Is that when you beat Gabby? Or don't tell me that's when you broke that kid's arm.
No,
Listen, if you were juiced up when you broke his arm, we're done. This show is over, yo. Oh my God.
I'm the be.
It was almost like you said, like you raped somebody the way you quietly said that. Oh my God.
Okay, here's the deal. It was past my arm wrestling days, and
Right.
I was fully in the CrossFit, and I wasn't interested in steroids to like get stronger or help me out in competition.
You went more in the Lance Armstrong avenue.
No, I wanted to know. Here's the deal. I'm a food fanatic. I have a hard time eating clean. I know to be trim that I got to eat clean and work out. And I was wondering would steroids help me eat a shittier diet yet look better? It had nothing to do with competition. So I call up a friend. Who did you call? I'm not.
Hey, if we're getting real, let's get real. We want ratings. Let's get some fucking ratings here. Who's your buddy's name?
Here's the deal. I can't do it. Because
I know exactly. You called Stevan Matosian.
No.
Because I heard that's where everybody got steroids out there with the CrossFit.
Here's the thing. I called, and to me, this arm wrestler, he's a normal size weight. He doesn't look, and I just called him, do you know anything? He said he did. And I said, what do I got to do? What do I got to do to try this? And he's like, I'll send you something. I can't remember how much it costs. I think I had to give him $100 and something.
Think deep. How much did it cost?
I feel like it was like a little thing for like $100 and something bucks or something.
I'll tell you what. I know a guy. I can probably see if I can get that cheaper for you. But I'll check with you here next week. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Anyways, and I didn't tell my wife at the time. I just remember I got the stuff and I did what he said, and it was like my body felt like on fire, and it was like shaky. And I just remember we were playing Monopoly, and I was trying to move my piece, and I couldn't stop my hands from shaking, and everyone was like,
"Yeah, he gave you meth. that was crystal meth." Yeah, that is not your friend, okay? Yeah. That guy hates you.
I was like, oh my gosh, this feeling, it's not what is happening to my body is not something that I can even get away with. People are like, what is wrong with you, bro? And
who was asking you what was wrong with you?
Like when I was playing games, they're like, why are you shaking? Why are you like, I thought It could just be something I could do and no one would notice. And what?
Whatever you're talking about.
Am I time out?
No. Are you talking about steroids?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the time I tried it once. So I had a show idea and I pitched it to my wife. She wasn't buying it. I was like, So to make a long story short is I don't even know if I finished it. I don't know if I saw it again. I just know it completely weirded me out, and I got too chicken. I never followed through. I was working out, but it was like a scary experience almost. And that was my. But the point is the guy I called. You wouldn't think he was a good arm wrestler, but I wouldn't necessarily think you would accuse him of being on steroids. So anyways, that was my test into the world, but I am curious. I want to know more about it. Maybe you're not the guy.
Sure, yeah. We just got to get somebody on here that has a 6-pack and big ass traps, and we got to ask them. Ask them.
Here's the thing.
Like, listen. Yeah, we got to, and there's got to be somebody.
Some of the comments said you take different things and it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a 6-pack. But here's what I wanted to know.
Hold up. What are you talking about?
You got to read your comments. They say different things do different things for you. Some get you ripped. Some change your bone structure. Some do this. Some do that. I just reading your comments under the.
I got you. Okay.
So. Here's what I had a show idea. I pitched it to my wife. She said, no way. I said,
no, sir.
I said, I'm curious. So someone said, you mentioned not knowing the difference between $1 million and $1 billion. And someone put in the comments, $1 million, if you spend it at $10,000 a day burned rate, you'd be out of money within like 3 years. $1 billion, you could spend $10,000 a day and never take 1,000 years. So I don't have the understanding.
Now, do you know what I meant by I don't know the difference? I'm talking about I can't personally audit the guy. The guy looks the same to me. It's not that I don't understand the difference in the money. It's like I don't know if Steve Kaplan has 1 million or 1 billion. I can't tell because he has a couple houses and a couple cars.
Right. But my point is, given that guy's description, a guy who's only a few million in a wall event that doesn't make money would sting a little. A guy who's a billionaire, he wouldn't feel that.
There's no doubt. The day after he canceled, 5 minutes after he canceled the event, I narrowed it down that he was not a billionaire.
Yeah.
But until that day, I did not know the difference.
My point here is that I don't know what a steroid does for you as an arm wrestler. And I know what I've done naturally as an arm wrestler in the past. And my curiosity is if I got back into the sport, if you said, let's do a reality show, we're going to have it fully on board. We're going to show exactly what Gary's taking. And we're going to prove to you just what kind of advantage steroid gives to a human. And then we film the whole thing, nothing hidden. And then I would go to tournaments. I wanted to know, like, would I still lose? Would I still not be able to get into the pro level? Because I would never be a pro naturally. Could you get me to the pros? Could you get me to the worlds? Like, I just, and my wife's like, fuck no, bitch. You ain't doing that anyways.
Well, yeah. Not only did she tell you no, but she also just said, don't even be talking about it, if I'm correct about what I just saw. Yeah. Well, and I do not blame her at all. But I think I have the answer to that question is no. You could take every steroid that ever existed, and I don't think that you are ever going to win the 242-pound class at the national championships.
No matter how much steroids.
I do not think. No.
So you have to have a gift on the table, still a baseline of talent and blah, blah, blah. And then steroids can just give you that edge against another top guy.
You must have more baseline talent than one Gary Roberts.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that.
Or Gary, I mean, it's a tough gig to be as big as you are. Like if you were 185 pounds, I'd be like, wow, let's get to work and see if we can't find a class to sneak you in because you got the 76s, the 87s, the 98s. We can play some. But my goodness, at 242, you better be a bad dude.
Yeah. Okay. Let's switch subjects going back to what we alluded to. Did you watch the BLM Dallas Langston?
I did.
I've got some opinions on that. I want to give my take, then you give me your take.
Gotcha. All right, so
my take first.
I love it. Let's do it. And let me tell you my take.
We hope you like the content. Thanks for stopping by. Please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Now click that little bell icon so you get notified. This was Gary Roberts and Travis Bagent live.
Damn it! Do something else. Don't ever say them two names to